popcorn, grab a Coke, and find that old VHS. We're diving deep in cheesy flicks. Yeah, we're on a vintage quest. Low reviews but high on laughs. Let's give these films a cheer. The cult classics, flops and duds, there are topics this year. We're the Ejectables, rolling back the years, celebrating movies that no one else cheers. From backhand juice to epic fails, we say it's all good. We're the Ejectables, yeah, we're misunderstood.
Welcome to the Ejectables. This is the show where movie enthusiasts Bill and Ian join forces with a weekly rotating guest to celebrate movies that we feel have been unjustly panned by the critics or sadly ignored and forgotten by audiences. Today's guest is Skylar Browning. Skylar is an award-winning writer, editor, and a published author, communications director for one of the nation's leading multifamily real estate firms, and serves as board president of the independent nonprofit news organization, the Montana Free Press. When do you have time to breathe, Skylar? Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Ian.
Thank you for joining us. It's awesome to have you.
It's my pleasure to be on the Ejectables.
Well, I hope you like movies. Do you like movies?
I love movies.
So you wrote a book. Is this correct?
I did. I co-wrote a book about baseball in Montana. A friend of mine likes to say it must have been really darn short. But it wasn't. We had some good stories in it. I was fortunate to have the opportunity to do it. But in my spare time, I watch a heck of a lot of movies. So.
Any particular kind of genre, or are you kind of open-minded?
I'm definitely open-minded. Sports movies are a little bit of my wheelhouse, though. I
noticed.
Exactly. I think I've seen almost every sports movie, including like the religious ones, the independent ones, the foreign ones. So I like the sports movies a lot. Are
you in Montana? There's a Montana theme going?
There's definitely a Montana theme going. I lived in Montana for about 20 years, but in 2019, my family and I moved to Arizona for work reasons.
Montana is beautiful. I mean, they're not quite the same, Arizona, Montana, but they're beautiful places. So welcome.
Thank you.
I'm glad they have internet there. So you chose a movie that I think it may be from the genre that you discussed earlier. What movie did you choose?
I chose Draft Day, starring Kevin Costner.
Draft Day. Wait, I have a poster. There it is. And why do you think Draft Day is an ejectable?
Well, here's the thing. Sports movies, certain sports movies achieve like a pantheon status, a cult status, a rewatchable status, and then all the rest of them just get dumped into a pile and forgotten. And I feel like Draft Day kind of ended up in the latter, which it didn't deserve. It is right up there with all the other good sports movies. I would refer to it as Moneyball for football fans. See, because Moneyball gives the Hollywood treatment to like the front office maneuvers and the building of a team, and it culminates in the trade of from middle reliever. And Draft Day follows the building of a team and the turnaround of a franchise, and it culminates with the selection of a middle linebacker. They're not about the action on the field, but the politics behind the scenes, and they're both eminently watchable, rewatchable, and deserve not to be discarded as most critics did when Draft Day came out.
So if you had this in one hand and The Natural in the other hand, hanging over the side of a cliff, and you can only bring one to safety, which one do you let fall to its death?
Draft Day, 100 times out of 100.
You're going to let Draft Day fall to its death?
Yes, but I mean, come on. I'm going to try to save both if I can, but if I'm answering the question honestly, I save The Natural.
Just so you know, it's going to hit a lot of ledges on the way down, maybe some branches. So it's not a comfortable instant death. All right.
Understood.
Okay, one last one. Hoosiers and The Natural are both You can only save one.
I can only save Hoosiers or The Natural.
Yep.
This is like the trolley question, man. Like I'm sweating now.
I'm sorry. You have to answer it. Bill's going to answer it about his choice too. A similar question. The Godfather or Scarface. I mean, but we'll go on.
The Godfather, dude. Come on.
All right. I've never seen it.
I'm going to save The Natural.
Okay. All right. It's just Gene Hackman. He only just passed away. But whatever. It's just his family.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So what is it about Draft Day? Is it the directing, the writing, or just kind of is telling a different story in the sports world?
I think it's the fact that not a lot of other movies in football, at least, cover it from this angle. It's got a killer cast from start to finish. A lot of smaller people doing a lot with big actors doing a lot with small roles. Ivan Reitman directs it. It's got a good pace to it. It's got some super memorable, like goosebumpy scenes. I mean, don't get me wrong. It is utterly ridiculous. It is completely unbelievable on a lot of different levels, but it's really watchable and rewatchable. So those are some of the reasons.
I think if I knew anything about field hockey, I would have engaged with it better. But continue.
Here, the last thing I'll say is that I am an unapologetic Kevin Costner movie fan, not TV, but movie fan. Yeah. And Sonny is a classic Kevin Costner character. And here's the thing. He's talented, but deeply flawed man who lives by a very strong moral code. And he cares more about sticking to that code than wins or losses. It's the same as Crash Davis and Bull Durham. It's the same as Roy and Tin Cup. But both of those movies, they get the cult status, the pantheon status, and Draft Day is a punchline. So, I think Sonny is just as good as those other characters.
I like him.
Yeah, what's not to like?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I did not find, and again, I haven't really said it. It might not be obvious, but I'm so not at all a sports fan of any sort of sport. I've liked a couple. I think I remember liking Tin Cup. I've never seen Bull Durham, but I feel like everyone. I don't.
What?
I'm not a sports fan. This for me was, and no offense to you or Ivan Reitman, rest in peace. This for me was like having my eyeballs dragged across my driveway. If they were talking about paper clips, I would have found it more interesting. It was so painful for me. This was homework and really hard for me to get through. But I imagine for sports fans, it's interesting.
Other than the play, other than the shooting, how'd you like the play, Mrs. Lincoln?
Ian, wait, hold on. Ian, is there any sports movie that you like that you can name as being like, oh, I like that one?
I remember liking League of Their Own. What? That was good. I liked The Natural. Hoosiers bored the living hell out of me too. But this is probably even. I mean, I think you have to know something or care something about football to like this movie.
I'd accept that. I understand.
But I could see why people like it if they found it interesting.
Sure.
Yeah. Bill, what'd you think?
Well, this is a very famous script, and that's why they got the talent attached. And so everyone was shocked when Ivan Reitman set to direct it. But, he was coming off a couple bombs, and by that time he was very rich. I don't know if he was the right person for it. It's like a double, triple. Some people were miscast, but there's a lot of great stuff. Dennis Leary's unbelievable in the movie.
He's good. He comes through a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, Happy Gilmore was fun.
There you go.
Okay.
All right.
I enjoyed that.
Thank you. Are you sure not League of Their Own?
And that one. I liked them both.
Whoa. Cliff, which one are you saving?
Personally, I would save League of Their Own because my son is enjoying Adam Sandler. For him, I will save Happy Gilmore.
There you go.
League of Their Own's going to hang on to that branch. I'm going to pull him back up. Okay.
I love the split screens and then the transitions. It was the first time I've ever seen that. That was pretty daring. Kevin Costner's the man.
He is a man.
No, he's the man. He's the man. Cleveland, poor Cleveland Brown. Like, do you get why like it takes place in Cleveland? Do you not you don't even understand that?
Well,
right?
I was just so taken away. I think I was so wrapped up in Diddy's performance that the rest of it was just he outshined the rest.
Now, a little trivia. P. Diddy was cast in Any Given Sunday, but he couldn't. He wasn't convincing throwing a football, so they hired Jamie Foxx. They had to fire him.
Wow.
Why didn't they get OJ?
Maybe, you know. But so I think that's where all P. Diddy's anger comes from, because he can't throw a football. And he was pretty humiliated. I think Oliver Stone whacked him in the first 2 weeks, maybe. Yes. The ending is great. Like Skylar said, it's totally unbelievable. But yeah, there's a little miscast with the girlfriend, not really convincing that she knows much about football. But
I didn't notice that.
Actually, her character knows more about football than you.
I'm sure she does. If I got that dialogue, I'd be like,
do you know what a salary cap is?
It's when they cap the salary.
Do you know what a draft pick is?
It's like when there's like a draft and they're picking people.
Oh Lord.
No, I mean, I've seen it on the news. We have a clip.
All right, let's see a clip.
This is the first time I've had to Google a good clip from a film because I could not choose one. Here it goes.
I want my number ones back, all of them.
That's crazy. Why would I give them back?
Because at the end of the day, no one's the wiser, Tom. You haven't lost anything, and you get the quarterback messiah you've always wanted for $7 million less.
No, I can't do it.
I have the golden ticket now, Tom, and if I give it to you, you get to save Seahawk football in Seattle.
Now, I have to say, for anyone watching out there, if you found that scene enthralling, because Google says it's the best scene, then it's the movie for you.
So that was just like gobbledygook, right?
To me.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. I was more fascinated by his hair there. I'm like, is that a wig or a piece? That's all I could. Yeah. There's a lot of talking on phones in this movie. A lot of phone talk.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm sorry, Skylar. I don't mean to judge it.
No.
I'm a very good movie, Skylar. I'm with you.
Bill, you mentioned the split screen stuff, which helped with all the phone conversations. Did you guys notice that like a character would be on one side of the split screen and then walk across the middle, and then
it was awesome.
Like, he would be in the room with Kevin Costner, but on the phone in his own place, and then on the other side, still, you know what I mean? Like the split screen would switch through.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah,
I'd never seen anything like that,
and I haven't seen it since. You were too busy pinning your nails, Ian.
I was. I think that's maybe like when it panned across. That's when I felt like my eyes were being dragged across the driveway. I'm like, stop moving. I don't know. So I'm sorry.
No, listen, Draft Day is not. It's not a perfect film. It's not a perfect film. My biggest critique of it is it might have the worst end credit song I've ever heard in my life. I had to look up the band. It's a song called Born to Rise by a Canadian rock group called Red Light King that is most known for a rap cover of Neil Young's Old Man.
Wow. Now that I found more interesting.
I knew we could connect, Ian. I knew we could find that ground.
No, you seem like a good guy. And I don't mean to bash this movie because I bet if one is into this, it is probably good, as you say.
I think over time, Draft Day will achieve more of a cult following. It's got some stickiness to it.
Yeah. I mean, I will say again, I think it's unfair of me to judge this film. So take me out of the running, people.
Understood.
Now, my movie. Should we move on to the next one?
Let's move on to your.
Now I'm not saying mine's brain surgery or amazing movie or anything, but the movie I did is a Michael Bay film called The Island. It's from 2005, but takes place in 2019. And we did not get the cool, like, flying motorbikes or the really cool trains. We didn't get any of that. So the movie's a lie. But basically, the story is about these people in a clone farm. They don't know they're in a clone farm. They just think they're being protected from the world, which has gone bad. And they're told about this island that if they behave, they'll eventually get to go to this island and live in this utopia. But it turns out they're in this farm. I got a clip just to give you an idea. So I have to stop talking. And here it goes.
What are you doing? Men aren't supposed to be in
Listen,
this.
you gotta trust me, all right?
What are you talking
I saw them.
Who?
Lima and Starkweather, they're dead.
What?
Yeah, they killed her and they cut him open. They were dragging him.
Stop! I want to go back to my room.
But you can't, don't you understand? I think they're gonna kill you.
I'm going to the island.
Jordan, there is no island.
No.
Come on! Just trust me.
Okay, 90% of the movie is just them running. And I'm impressed. They run really well.
No, they don't.
They do. I think
Ewan McGregor cannot run worth a shit.
I didn't think he was I think he's a fine runner. I think
He's
it's realistic.
My girlfriend says he's Scottish. That's why he can't run.
They have places to run there, like hills.
He's the worst runner ever. Oh my God. The ladies in League of Their Own can run better.
He ran better than Kevin Costner in Draft Day.
Kevin Costner did not draft.
He didn't run.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this movie is like a total ripoff of The Matrix and Logan's Run, THX 1138 and Coma and so many other things. But I think it's so much fun for a Michael Bay film. I think it's, for me, his second best after The Rock. I think it's just a lot of fun. It's dumb fun. The action's really good. I think it looks pretty good being 20 years old. I think they have good chemistry. I like they're not all buff action heroes and they don't have to run perfectly. I think it's well. There's a lot of cardio in this film. It's inspiring.
I know. Imagine if they had a Fitbit during it.
Oh my God. Yeah. How many steps?
I'd say
Jeez.
20,000 a day.
You think so? Maybe thinking, oh no, he's frozen. What'd you think, Skylar?
Well, I read somewhere, first of all, I had never seen this film before. I had never heard of this film before. And when we did the introductions, I was like, I watch a lot of movies. I really do watch a lot of movies. This one completely missed my radar.
I came to it late as well.
I was excited to watch it. I read somewhere before I watched it that it's a pretty bad sci-fi film, but an above average chase film.
Okay.
And I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Like, give me a young Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson. I'll watch them on screen for 2 hours running around for sure. I'm not the biggest Michael Bay fan in the world, but I'm better with him doing something like this than like Pearl Harbor, you know?
Yes.
So yeah.
Okay, I think we are totally on the same page with this one. It's just like it's a fun time. What'd you think, Bill?
I was watching it. I go, who's Ian McGregor remind me of?
Ian McGregor?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
Can you run? Can you run around the room?
I run way better. I go running every day.
Okay.
Not as fast, but
The movie's awesome. It was one of the biggest bombs ever. I think the reason why it bombed is because DreamWorks was sold to Paramount. It was a really big spec script, and then the people that worked with J.J. Abrams rewrote it. And I think even Michael Bay thinks the ending is a little underwhelming, but there's a lot of great concepts in it. I work in high concept movies, so when there's a high concept that hasn't been done before, I go, oh, that's really interesting. Definitely Michael Bay, The Rock, Bad Boys, and The Island. Yeah.
all right. I think we're all sort of on the same page with this one. Yes, just a good time. If you want a good big movie, good summer movie, this is it. And that's why it's an ejectable, because it bombed. Should we move on to yours, Bill?
Sure. Let's do it.
Yeah, what did you I haven't been showing the pictures. What movie did you pick?
I picked 1990 or 91, The Freshman, with Marlon Brando and Matthew Broderick, written and directed by Andrew Bergman. Andrew wrote, that's The Island.
I know.
It's
Everyone, that's Marlon Brando right there. Oh my God, I didn't mean it again. No.
Can I do my turn, Ian? Is that possible?
Sorry, go.
It's right directed by Andrew Bergman, who wrote his spec script, Black Bart, became
And now we'll do.
Fletch. He was coming off. He was doing a movie called Big Trouble. He left 3 or 4 weeks in. What are you doing? I'm not talking about The Freshman yet.
Oh, so sorry. Okay.
Dude, I'm talking about Big Trouble. I'm talking about Big Trouble here.
You froze for a minute, so I was just filling in. I panicked.
Oh, okay. Anyways, he wrote this movie. It originally wasn't supposed to be Marlon Brando, but Marlon Brando was a really big fan of The In-Laws. Now, if you've never seen The In-Laws, it is a masterpiece. It's one of the best movies ever made. So Marlon Brando actually had a really silly sense of humor, and he read the script, and then Andrew Bergman decided to say, hey, you can play the part of a gangster, and we'll say that they modeled The Godfather after you. So he's basically doing his own version of his character from The Godfather. It involves Matthew Broderick, who is a freshman at NYU, and his dad works for an extremist animal rights group, and he gets involved with these people. It's a bunch of shenanigans. It's one of the funniest movies ever made. Totally bombed. And because he took such a low directing and writing fee, Andrew Bergman rewrote Soap Dish right afterwards. So a year later, he got screenwriting credit for Soap Dish. I heard an interview with him. He said that dealing with Marlon Brando was insane, and that if the way he liked to be directed, that if he did a good job, he would want an extra piece of gum. This is the greatest living actor that ever existed. So if he did a good job and did what he told, he would give him 1 piece or 2 piece. And then the beginning, to get a hold of him was, I think you would have to leave a message on his answering machine. And if it was somewhat important, you say tuna sandwich 1. And if it was important, you say tuna sandwich 2. And if it's really important, you say tuna sandwich 3. And you say that, shit has gone down, is tuna sandwich 4. So that's how you deal with Marlon Brando. Penelope Ann Miller's in it. She's amazing. The guy from the Jeffersons, I forget his name.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
He steals the movie as the film professor. I remember my mom watching it and go, you want to go to film school with people like this? Frank Whaley is so effing funny in it with that hair. And has so many amazing lines. I can quote him all day. My favorite line of all time is when after Maximilian Schell starts singing in German, Frank Whaley turns to Matthew Broderick and goes, you got to like this guy. What you got? Skylar, what did you think?
Paul Benedict is the actor.
Yeah, Paul Benedict, yeah.
Professor. I remembered The Freshman. I saw it, I guess, when it came out, or I don't know, on VHS or DVD or something after that. And all I remembered was the lizard. Or dragon, Komodo dragon, whatever. And rewatching it, I laughed out loud every time the lizard dragon thing was on the screen. Like, those scenes are outrageously funny, I thought. I enjoyed it. Bill, were the film school scenes, like, was that what it was like at Emerson back in the day? Was it the same thing for you?
The teachers were more crazy at Emerson.
They were nicer than he was.
The teachers were more crazy. Filmed mostly in Toronto. Also,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you want to see a clip?
Do you want to see a clip?
Here's a clip. I didn't have to Google this.
That's how I know you're gonna be loyal to me until death. Until death, like a real son.
Oh, I don't know.
The son I never had.
You kissed me on the mouth.
Clark, you know how big this is? Baci di tutti baci. The kiss of all kisses. That's the highest. You're in now for life. It's like we're brothers. God bless you and keep you.
This is Matthew Broderick going back to what he does best, because he had just done, I believe this is right after Glory, which the movie is great, but he was a bit miscast. And I think we both read that book, Bill, where there's a crazy backstory with him. It's charming. I saw this at the theater back then. I didn't dig it in its day, but going in, knowing a lot of Bill's other picks, this was a good one. It's charming. It's charming. I really appreciated Brando this time, which I didn't really get back then, because even though I still haven't seen not Scarface, Godfather.
The Godfather.
Still haven't seen it, but I am much more aware of it now. It's
just as long as you're aware of it.
Yeah, well, no, I've seen a lot of clips of it, you know.
Yeah, totally worth it.
It's charming.
You got to see Bull Durham before you see Godfather. That's how I would rank them, just so you know.
I love Susan Sarandon and Tim Robbins. Is that how they met on that movie?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Not on The Freshman, everyone. That's Bull Durham, which is the sequel to Hoosiers. Anyway.
Same production company.
See? I knew that. No, this is a charming movie. It's a silly situational comedy. Very nice performances. I would put it one step above Slight. So sorry, these are recurring themes, Skylar.
You get it. I've watched a few episodes.
Sorry. Oh no, he's frozen.
No,
okay, you're back. Yeah. So any other words about this film?
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't point out, Ian, that the stepdad is played by Kenneth Welsh, who was the doctor in a very good hockey movie called Miracle. And Frank Whaley, who Bill mentioned, plays the Matthew Broderick's roommate. He was young Moonlight Graham in Field of Dreams, a classic baseball movie.
I've never seen it.
You never seen Field of Dreams?
No, it's a baseball movie. I didn't care to see it.
But you saw League of Their Own?
No.
I worked in a movie theater when that came out, so I had no choice.
Have you tested your testosterone?
Yes, fine. I'm super manly.
Field of Dreams is more of like a supernatural horror movie. It's got ghosts in it, so maybe that's
talking. Oh, you see my background. You're cheating.
And I also would like to mention that Burt Parks steals the movie when he sings Maggie's Farm at the ending.
The Burt Parks cameo at the end is bananas. Like everything about it is out of control.
Did Bruno Kirby get any mention? Because he's great.
Yeah, he was so funny. Oh my god, he was the best.
I love him in everything that he's in.
Yeah.
He's so good. Yeah, good pick. That was a good. Yeah.
Okay, so should we decide? Skylar, you can't pick your own. What movie did you like the best this week between The Island and The Freshman?
Ooh, I gotta go The Freshman. I gotta go The Freshman.
I was cruel to your pick. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go. I think I'm going with The Freshman as well. Respect. Yeah. It's just sports. It's just me.
So you know what I get?
What are you picking though, Bill?
I get Ian's framed headshot.
Yes, I'll autograph it too for $20.
Like that. What'd you do?
It used to be a little longer back then. Wait, there you go. Is that sort of?
I won, but I would have picked The Island just because of Ewan McGregor's running.
Yeah, he's a great runnist.
He's a great.
Now let's talk about where we can find these films. So we can find The Island can be found for free on Pluto, or you can track down a Blu-ray of it. Draft Day is on Netflix. You can also find a Blu-ray of it. And The Freshman you can find free on YouTube, not in pieces, the whole film. And it looks pretty good on there. And you can also track down a Blu-ray. So that's where to find those movies. Skylar, thank you for joining us. It was really fun. I'm sorry I panned your film. The film's good if you like sports. Yeah.
It was my pleasure. Thanks for having me, guys.
Please come back.
Absolutely.
And be careful in Arizona.
Will do.
Okay. Anything else? Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Like, share, tell your friends, comment, and tell us if you like sports movies. Thanks, everybody. Should I hit the endy thing?
Yep.
Here it goes. Play outro.
Pop the popcorn, grab a Coke, and find that old VHS. We're diving deep in cheesy flicks. Yeah, we're on a vintage quest. Low reviews but high on laughs. Let's give these films a cheer. The cult classics, flops, and duds, there are topics this year. We're the Ejectables, rolling back the years, celebrating movies that no one else cheers. From backhand juice to epic fails, we say it's all good. We're the Ejectables, yeah, we're misunderstood.